Hey, Alchemists. I'm here to drop in with you, and I just felt like doing a little portal report because I'm noticing that the energy, woo, woo. Okay, hold up a minute. Interesting. Okay. Something that needs to be looked at regarding the foundation of matters here. The foundation of matters at home. Also, foundation of matters in terms of within yourself, okay? Something that really needs to be looked at. The foundations of matters, making foundations stronger, putting in strengthening influences, reinforcements, okay? There's something that's just starting to have a new foundation laid down. I got that. We have the house here, okay, associated with the number 8. So this is about some kind of new vision that's coming into alignment here, the manifestation of a new cycle. This can have results that go either way. It's sort of, a little bit of a tricky territory, and it all depends on the foundation. So there's this message coming through regarding foundations of matters, making things clear from the get-go, making sure there's reinforcements, making sure that what is built on a solid foundation. That determines how things will turn out. It can either be a cause of celebration or a cause of conflict. And whatever this is, it's going down right now in this month of August. It's something that provides a view of the expansion on offer, but the way something starts is very important. All right. Hello, good to see you. Well, I'm glad that you knew about this live, so it's good to have you drop in. Good to have you here. Yeah, it is unusual, right? I don't know. It's very interesting energy. I feel like there's no reference point for it. And yet I also feel at the same time it's extremely transformational. Like it does feel like something is opening up here. It feels like there's a major road that's opening. And I'm personally, myself, I'm noticing a lot of the energy is moving on the upswing. It feels elevating, it feels positive, at least in my neck of the woods. And at the same time, there's still sort of like, the riffraff on the periphery, you know what I mean? So I do feel like there is a need for like reinforcements of boundary lines, reinforcements of certain things you've already put in place, really strengthening structures, having a good foundation. Let's just chop into this general energy so we can get a clue about what's swirling around right now. What kind of transformation or expansion is on offer? And this is really going to kind of set the tone for how we're moving forward into that new cycle here. So I'm excited to see that. I saw a little flash of the abundance card. So I do feel that energy. It feels like where there have been certain like manifestation pathways sort of blocked off, or where things have been held back or a little stagnant. I feel like there's a lot of opportunity for growth coming in. So that feels really good. And I do feel like there's going to be a little bit of freeing up of that good stuff. I do feel like people are getting a little relief financially. They're seeing some reward for their efforts, which I think at this stage of the game, it's important that people feel a sense of inspiration coming in. All right. But let's see what us alchemists need to know. Like, what do we need to alchemize? What do we need to be aware of? What are the pitfalls? And also what's on offer here? What are the rewards on offer? Let's check it out and see what's coming in. So let's get the general atmosphere of the initiatory gateway that we're entering into here. And let's see what this initiation is all about. What is this initiation all about? And I'm working with the super awesome future cards because I have felt some interesting energy, swirling about. And it's really sort of dichotomous right now. If you've noticed, there's either people who are really on the upswing, or there's people that are now on like the lower, round of that wheel of fortune. And they're, going through some tough lessons with, just the karmic work to be done in order to get beyond the south node. I feel like I already got ran over and drug a hard mile a while back there. So I'm definitely on the upswing now, and it feels really good. But I know that there's sort of this real, blend of energies out there. Some people are really struggling right now, and others are starting to feel things lighten up. And I have noticed that the energy that is, maybe having to go through some more work and cleansing away the old cycles, their energy is a little bit activated at this time. And so I think that is one reason why I'm picking up this need to have better boundaries in place, be mindful of who you're spending time with, who you're entering into conversations with, who you give access to, your inner world. And I think all this is important. Yeah, because not everybody is in alignment, and some people are still digesting a lot of shadow material, just as you're coming into this place of manifestation, as we're coming into the place where we finally got through digesting the old cycle, and now we're really ready to manifest a new way forward. There's energies that are still caught up, in that old cycle, and those energies, can be a debilitating force when we're just starting to really, get our strength back, and we're back on our stuff, man, and we're ready to really have that montage moment where we charge off toward a new future, and the enthusiasm that comes with that of just being able to look forward to something new. But I do feel like there's also, with the retrograde energy we got going on and being sandwiched in the middle of those eclipses and all the nodes of destiny action we have happening here, and all the work of Saturn in the house of karma, in the 12th house of Pisces, which is the blind spot. Yes, certainly, I think the foundation is so important. And yes, the foundation, the subconscious influences too, are sort of like the foundation of our consciousness as well. Like those things that can undermine us or they can sabotage us. But I do think this is really coming in through people that, are struggling. They're struggling, and it's hard for them to maybe see somebody get ahead, because what I'm kind of coming across is this sort of like a general consensus where people are struggling. They see that people are moving forward. They think that they have like some kind of unfair advantage, or um, that in some way there's an inequity there. But I don't think they're really recognizing that people who are moving forward right now have already like really been through it. They've gone through a lot. They've been paying their dues. They've been doing the work, and that's why things are lightening up for them. And so it's kind of a polarized position, even though it's not. I mean, we're all walking each other home, and we've all had the same kind of work to do. It's just that some people haven't been ready yet to face the work that needs to be done. And so anytime you get something like that, especially when people are still kind of caught up in their shadow stuff and they're activated, and we got all this action going on, oppositional energy with Mars and Venus, and things are a little bit kind of like volatile because we're moving into greater expansion. And we got Jupiter in Gemini, which influences our communication. It can also make us feel in two minds about things, or feel like we can't really make up our minds about things. Yeah, it can create some imbalanced power dynamics. So I am picking up this piece about it is better to kind of really keep things close to the chest, develop what you're developing, celebrate your successes, celebrate your victories, share them with people that totally support you, that they got your back, and that they're also actively on a path like that. They're also, cultivating their path. They're doing the work. And so they can be people that don't view that as competition, or don't view that as um, something to be sabotaged in order to feel like things are on more of an even playing field, but instead can view it as a source of inspiration. Likewise, we have to be aware of shadow elements in ourselves as we're moving into a cycle where we can really quickly manifest things, call things into being, because that is really what is on offer here. I've noticed this a lot, that our thoughts that we're holding right now, even before we speak them into existence, just our thoughts, are manifesting things at like warp speed right now. So I feel like never has there been more important of a time to really be mindful of the energy we're holding. I think it's so, so, so essential right now. It really is. And I've found personally, for me, the way that I've kind of like kept my side of the street clean in that regard is with meditation. I've been doing a lot of kriyas, I've been doing a lot of meditation, I've been working with a lot of mantras, and it does provide me like a certain focus, a certain grounding, a certain strengthening. I've been really invoking Agni, the transformational fire, and that's been good for me. Okay. So yes, we need to be very mindful of the foundation of what we're calling into being now. And one of the ways that we can be wise about that foundation is in working quietly and with focus, not necessarily needing the recognition or the reward yet of what we're putting in place, but thinking more long term and directions that are built to last, that what we're putting in place now is very strong, that it's unshakable, and that it has some longevity. Um, and then we really need to be mindful of all the foundational aspects of that. And if you're partnering with people or sharing things with people, making sure that those are the right people to partner with, or the right people to share these kind of things with, because there are sabotaging influences out there. Okay, so let's see what's coming in here. Help us tap into this energy on the ether. What's coming in here that we need to be aware of? Give us the nature of this quest. Okay, see, this is what I'm talking about. I mean, I've been feeling this energy. There's a lot of kind of like, shady stuff going on as far as um, other alchemists out there who, let's say, don't necessarily walk the good red road. Let's just call it that, okay? These are people that are more invested in questing for power. They're not concerned about what's good for the collective, but they have their own independent desires. These are people that they come together in groups, right? But you can see that each individual has their own, agenda. And there's secrecy here. There's a lot that's hidden right now. There's a lot that's happening behind the scenes. I have been picking up a lot of energy about, groups of people that are actively manifesting in a direction that runs counter to those that want to move into expansion, kind of secret society stuff. But I mean, come on. How can you not recognize that that is operating in the world today? I mean, look at everything that's going on. And I mean, I think that's just so evident, even what we see going on politically, that there's a lot of moving pieces right now, and there's a lot happening backstage, so to speak. And it's suspect, it is. And so now's the time we really need to be mindful of what we're focusing on and who we're connecting with, and also what place we are calling things into being from. I do feel like there could be, a little faction here, of three people, kind of hanging around the periphery. These are probably people who do like to manifest with the full moon. They might be people that like to work with that full moon cycle. I do feel like maybe these people have something planned here, okay? Something planned here. You might be feeling these energies kind of like tapping into your energy. Yeah, there's something secret going on here. And there's definitely a plan that's been put in motion. I feel like the monitoring spirits are at an all-time high. And what I mean by that is people being sent in proxy of other people to get information to take back to a group. That's what it feels like. It's like people who aren't able to just be upfront and have a direct conversation or work through issues. These are people who, in some way, they feel like their position is more weakened. So in one way or another, they have to like move in a more subversive way, and they have to kind of gain entry into your energy or entry into access to certain information about you to gain an advantage, to gain an upper hand in a strategic way by sending people in proxy, you know? There's a lot of this kind of energy going on right now, and I do feel like this is going to pick up. There are some people that are in opposition. There are some people that do want to put blocks toward advancement, you know, in place. And so we do need to be aware of this. There's also a lot of dogma out there, okay? And I don't feel that, you know, necessarily this interference or these energies that are counterbalancing a desire to move into expansion and transformation, or a more collective mindset and less of an individual mindset, are necessarily just people who work as alchemists, people who are actively involved in the occult, or people who have this kind of like secret society action going on, or people who are in the upper echelons. I don't think that at all. I actually think that a lot of it is also coming through, you know, what's sort of accepted at face value by mass media, you know, the common consensus, and that's organized religion. You know, there's a lot of these power structures are starting to sort of, I feel like an energy ramping up around the power structures too, to sort of like put things in place to, you know, manage that desire of the unrest that's in the collective. It's like, it's very interesting because it's like a subtle, it's like a subtle undercurrent, but it's like the tension is mounting. And I keep getting this like subterranean energy. And I think a lot of that is because it feels like underground movement kind of stuff. You know what I mean? It's like there's a lot of people that are really frustrated with the way things are going in the world. And there's a lot of uncertainty and there's a lot of unrest. There's also a lot of people that are desperate, you know? And when people get desperate, they tend to act more out of their shadow natures. And I feel like this is, you know, something that's happening. There's a lot of grassroots stuff happening right now. And then there's, you know, the feeling that, you know, you got Oz behind the curtain and he's pulling the strings, and he's up to some shady stuff, you know. And yet there's a lot of fear around that, a lot of fear that keeps people in a very complacent place, that keeps people controlled. And yet at the same time, um, it's an illusion, because even within these factions or these upper echelons or these groups of people that are power hungry, or want to control things, or want to block off, you know, growth, want to block off expansion, want to block off unity, want to block off progression. Even within their own groups, there's division, you know, there's this like a self-serving nature. So what it does is it creates a really untrustworthy kind of environment, an untrustworthy kind of atmosphere. And I really feel like that's what's going on the more global level, right? And of course, whatever's going on globally, we're also going to feel it on a microcosmic level in our own little circles, in our own community. A lot of it just, you know, has to do with the typical things, you know, the desire for money, the desire for power, the desire for advancement, um, that competitive sort of edge, wanting to, you know, get ahead, get ahead, sometimes at the cost of others. You know, there's a lot that have that mentality at this time. I'm aboard, pull up the ladder. Hmm. And, you know, there's intel. And the intel I feel is coming in through familiars, you know, familiar people. I mean, certainly you may be experiencing that. If you know people who work on a very advanced level, you know, if you know advanced alchemists, or you know people that are tapped in, you know, on that level. If you know true sorcerers, you know, you certainly could have people that are sending out familiar energies. We got the snakes here, and snake is associated with the sign of Scorpio. And I think we are moving through a lot of that territory right now. A lot of sort of taboo stuff is coming to the surface. I also feel like hidden motivations are being revealed. secrets are being spilled. There's exposure of things that were normally hidden. And as this stuff's being exposed, there's simultaneously the understanding and the knowledge for those in the know that secrets that are being revealed are purposely being revealed. It can be another way to make people have a false sense of assurance that they are seeing the truth, or that they're being put in a loop, or things aren't hidden. But oh, it goes so much deeper than that. And we have this vision, right? We want to open up a new way. We want to gain the keys that are needed to really reclaim the kingdom, and to open up doors of opportunity that lead us to a higher level of existence that doesn't just consider us independently, but considers the greater whole. And we don't got the keys. So I feel like this is what's really coming in. Do you notice it's like with it in reverse, the light, what needs to be seen, it's rising up subterraneanly. So for some of us, these keys to sort of solve these riddles, or to overcome these sort of insidious energies that are blocking the light, that creative energy, what wants to move into expansion, or are blotting out the clarity of vision to see the way forward and the necessary steps that need to be taken. A lot of these keys need to rise within our own subconscious. And that's where the illumination will come. It will come from within us. And it goes to that parable. All the keys to the kingdom are inside of us. They're not outside of us. And we're being asked to find those keys now. But in order for us to do that, we have to be able to have certain boundaries in place as well. Because I get a lot of energy. I don't know if you felt this, but it's almost like redirective energy. That's the way it feels like a lot of people are raising energy right now, is to cloak, to confuse, to throw off the trail, to disorient, to mislead, to reroute, And it's like, here, you got the keys to get exactly where you need to go. You got the keys to open up that door and walk through that door of initiation and get to the other side. But those keys are in your subconscious. And if you got, sort of like fuzzy boundaries at this time, and you're allowing people to infiltrate your energy, those keys can be hidden. It's got that kind of vibe. They can be hidden due to distraction. If you're kind of caught up in energies that are tapping in, or, these monitoring spirits, these people that are being sent in proxy of people you've already put boundary lines down with, people you've already said, do not pass, you're not welcome here, or I've put down, I put down my boundary line in this situation. I don't want to interact in anymore. Wish you well, hope you heal, but I can't have your energy around me at this time, because you've seen the way it can be a thwarting element. What you're going to find, I feel, is especially leading up to that full moon, you're going to start to hear from people that you haven't heard from in a while. These people are there to test the water. And, you might be thinking twice if you want to give them that key that gains them access. You might want to think twice before you open that door and let them in. You might need to recall, some of that stuff that might be buried in the subconscious of, what happened last time. In some cases, this can be, people that have been absent for quite a long time. And sometimes absence can make the heart grow fonder. It can also make us a little bit forgetful or more dismissive of something that went down that really wasn't right, and is very compromising. And we do need to be mindful before we just open up the door to anybody coming around. We do need to be aware of that. We need to be aware of people's motives. We need to be aware of who people are connected to, you know, what is their desire? Why are they reaching out? What's really going on here? I'm not saying to be in a state of paranoia, because I don't feel like this is everywhere, but it is something that is front and center at this time, and we see it happening on the big stage of, the world, what's going on in the world. But it's certainly happening also, within our own communities, and with the polarization that still exists, although I do feel a lot of polarization is sort of like melted away. More people are starting to come to like the middle way, right? I'm noticing a lot more people, just in terms of just touching on like the whole political structure for a moment. There's a lot of people that are becoming more moderate now, which I think is interesting. And politics for me is not something I've ever been terribly interested in, mainly because, I just have my own views, my own feelings about that, my own perspective. And I've never felt like anybody really had any true power in that situation, because if we really did have that power, they wouldn't have given it to us in the first place. It's sort of like a way for us to feel like, yeah, we're part of, the key that opens the new door to the new way, that we get a say, but there's so much that's orchestrated, controlled, and put on for show. And even as these energies, are playing out on a more global level, the same dynamics, they're there within our personal relationships. They're there within our social circles. They're there on the World Wide Web. They're on social media. They're in our family dynamics. They're among our friends, and they're among people that we're familiar with or people we do business with. It's just the reality. You're never going to have something manifesting, on the worldwide level that isn't also, being reflected in your own life, because that macrocosm is reflected in microcosm. And that is what alchemy is all about. So there is something here, um, about really minding where we're at right now and maintaining our own energy, maintaining our own frequency, because the more that we can do that without infiltration from other outside forces, influences, mindless brain food, in the form of media or, conversations we're having, or what we take in, that can kind of pollute, it can pollute and disrupt our frequency, and it can actually cause us to contribute to that distortion. It really is that way right now. I feel like we're really being challenged to be responsible for our own power, our own energy, our frequency, how we're managing that, how we're tending to that, what we're consuming, what we're taking in, what we're receiving, because that has every effect on what we're transmitting as well, and what we're contributing. So it feels like it's a really important time, to focus on building the light within. And the more that we build that light within quietly, okay, even as we're surrounded by darkness, ultimately it contributes to that movement into expansion, and in a way that allows it to gain momentum in our life. And that ripples out, of course, right? It ripples out into all of existence. But if you've been feeling like, you got some door of opportunity somewhere, you're looking for the keys. So you'll know like which door to open, because your keys can only open certain doors. Now, I do got a distinct hit that we are going to be retrieving some keys as we enter into this initiatory gateway with the Aquarius full moon. I feel like we're going to be presented with 5 doors of opportunity. We got 5 keys here. But there's something here. It's a little bit of riddly energy. It does require that we have a certain clarity of vision, that we're not distorted, that we're really, in charge of our own awareness, and that we're operating from that place of wisdom, what we've learned, also bringing in that wisdom to merge with our intuition, and having that body wise, instinctual awareness, so we can really pick and choose, what keys we're going to use to open doors and what keys are going to be used to lock doors. So do look for 5 keys to appear um, with this full moon and leading up to the next full moon that will come in. The next full moon that will come in is going to be an eclipse, and it's going to be an eclipse in the sign of Pisces. So a lot of karma going on with that one, right? It's pretty heavy duty, and it also impacts the north node of Aries, right? So this next initiatory gateway we're passing through is an important one, and it has everything to do with understanding what doors are meant to be open and what doors we're meant to lock and kind of like throw away that key because we're not going there. We don't need to open that up again. And it's also the time when certain people, places, things that have felt you pulling your energy away or creating some sense of distance will start to assert themselves more because they can feel that this time is coming. You know what I'm saying? So we also have to be aware of certain displays that can be put on, the big show, the grand Oz show that can be put on. So you get, sort of roped into the magic of the moment, fall for the glamour, and not really realize what you decided to open up a door to again, right? Not all doors that come through in this next lunar cycle that kicks off with this Aquarius full moon are meant to be opened. Some of these keys that open doors of opportunity or have the power to lock them behind us, some of these doors are not meant to be open. They are meant to be locked. You know, opening these doors could invite in further conflict in some cases. It could allow something in that is very invasive, that invades your privacy, that corrupts your energy and impacts you, you know, impact your inheritance, like impacts that reciprocal flow, what you're meant to receive at this time. Block your avenues of creation, your avenues of abundance. We need to be really mindful of this. This is part of the foundational work. And there is something here really about moving quietly, working quietly, not feeling the need to gain that recognition by, announcing all the cool stuff you got going on in your life. And a lot of that can come from having a different kind of perspective as well, a more conscious awareness that there are a lot of people struggling. And sure, we deserve to celebrate, but it's one of those things where it's like, know the right people to celebrate with, the people who really do. They want to see you. They want to see you get ahead. They want to see you grow. They want to see you succeed. They're invested in you succeeding. They celebrate your accomplishments. You know who those people are. Those are the people that cheer you on. When they hear about something good happening for you, they don't side eye you. They encourage you. They let you know, like, yeah, I'm so glad that's happening for you. You totally deserve it. Or they give you words of motivation, like, it's so time that you did that. You really have something valuable to offer. So that's what you want to align with. You want to align with collaborators. You don't want to align with competitors. The way of the competitors is really like going down the drain at this time. It just leads to clashing. It leads to conflict. It leads to a dissipation of power. It leads to division. And everything is about collaborative energy right now. That applies even when you're working on your own stuff, doing your own thing. You can still bring a collaborative quality into that. You can let what you're contributing, what you're creating, what you're investing your time and energy in be something that does uplift others. It does motivate others. It does support others. It has the conscious awareness of other people that we share this space we call Earth with. Okay, so these are all things to be really mindful of at this time, the undermining quality, the sabotaging quality, and that, like it or not, there are energies out there that don't want more expansion of the light. They don't, you know, they don't. There's some people who prefer to have the structure set up in such a way where it is the haves and the have-nots. But most of us that are waking up, most of us that are doing the work, we have more of a perspective of there's no reason why there's not enough for all. There's no reason why everybody can't win. There's no reason why everybody can't benefit. There's no reason why there can't be a place for everybody. So, it's a real like clash in ideals. It's a clash in vision. And we're certainly feeling that, that clash within our personal connections and stuff. So just be aware, okay? Be aware as you get these keys. Be aware as you get opportunities. You're going to have to really trust your instincts. You're going to have to lean into what you feel. You can't throw out the history of a situation. And at the same time, you also have to make room for compassion and room for human error and room for growth. But it's pretty easy to differentiate whether there is truly an opportunity for growth or evolution in a situation where maybe there were difficulties before or challenges before, but there's something to be salvaged there, or there's something new that can take root there and flourish, okay? Or where it's just better to prune something so something of beauty can grow in its place, you know what I mean? Sometimes you need to prune back, in order to get to the sweetness of the bloom. Otherwise, nothing grows. Nothing grows from it if you don't do your pruning, right? Yeah, yeah. And it's time to out the secrets. We don't need people that we have to read between the lines with, or where things feel unclear, or where we know somebody's asking us questions because they know so and so and they want to tell that person what's going on here. So that person feels like they got an in, or that's a very creepy, invasive energy to send somebody in another's place to, try to extract information from somebody, get the inside scoop. It's very invasive. It's really violating to try to peer into somebody's personal energy, private space, intimacy in that way. And I do feel that, there's a lot of curious energy, let's call it, out there, all right? Do I think all people are aware of that? No, not everybody is like a master manipulator out there. Some people are just, feeling lost, or some people are scrambling for control, or some people are afraid of being left behind, or some people are just really grappling with their own stuff, and they want to be put in the loop, or maybe they realize they made some mistakes, they want to hitch a ride, but still, if that's the case, it's important that people, are above board, that they have the courage to approach somebody themselves. Do also be on the lookout for people using fake accounts. Do be on the lookout for, um, catfishing, things like this. There's a lot of this energy out there right now. I just pick up like heavy surveillance, heavy surveillance energy, people wanting to just know what's going on with other people, what are they up to, and not always with the best of intentions. Some of it's just curiosity. There are people who just have the desire to gossip, you know. It's a real kind of base energy, and I don't think, anybody needs that. But this is something to be aware of, okay? So we got to find these keys, and we got to be mindful of how we use these keys too, and how we move forward from here. So a lot of foundational stuff. So when I think of that foundation and minding the foundation, it's also like anybody who's coming back around with all this retrograde energy, also remember the foundation of the situation. That's super important. You can't like, you can't negate that. You can't negate the history of a situation. And with that, we got these cards popped right on top of both the secret and the keys. So what do we got here? Oh yeah, look at this. See? Zombies. See, this is what's beneath the surface right now. I can't really see this right now, but it will come around. And I'll tell you when this energy is going to come around. This zombie energy is going to come around with that eclipse energy that comes in. It's one of these like, now you see it, now you don't. Only in this case, it's the converse. Now you don't see it, now you do, right? Right now, this is what's operating beneath the surface, the zombies. And that's why these people are being sent in. They're trying to pick your brain. They're trying to pick your brain so they know what you're up to, so they feel like they still got an in. Um, the thing is that this is not going to be evident yet, though, okay? because it's still beneath the surface. This energy will crop up with that full moon on the 17th in Pisces, that lunar eclipse. And that energy goes all the way back to, I think it was April 8th, when we had the solar eclipse in Aries. The lunar eclipse that's going down in Pisces on the 17th of September, that lunar eclipse will be affecting the north node of Aries. Okay. And so I feel like that's when this energy gets like a rebirth. Okay. With the bats coming in there, it's like you're starting to enter into this lucky cycle. And that's when these people will start to come forward. All these people from the past are going to start cropping up. And I think you'll sense as soon as you got this energy coming in with the full moon in Aquarius, I've already been getting it in now, okay? But I feel like this energy is only going to ramp up and pick up as we enter into the cycle kicked off with the Aquarius full moon on the 19th. Right now, what we got are sort of the people attached to those zombies that are coming in advance to sort of like, soften the entry, you know? Sort of find out where there might be like, a little room to maneuver around some of those boundaries that were put in place, or to gain access to certain information that you don't want certain people to receive, that you already cut off communication with, where you already got blocks in place. You don't have blocks with these people, and that's why they're coming forward. But you can feel the energy signature of the people attached to them, you know? And this has been coming in a lot. These are people who are coming in and as helpers. And again, it's not about being paranoid and thinking this is the case with everybody, but this is where you have to move into that place of instinctual awareness. It's one of those things. It's like, you know it when you know it when you know it. And there's no unknowing it. Once you know a certain energy signature, you can feel when it's coming in attached to another person. It's very clear. So it's coming in subversively now. But I feel like with that lunar eclipse on the 17th of September in Pisces, yeah, it's when there's really the height of that karmic cycle that got kicked off back on April 8th, okay? And it's really just going to come to a head. And that's when these people will really crop up. That's when you're going to have a lot of people from the past coming back around to finish up, what was left unfinished back there. They feel like it's unfinished because they still have a bone to pick. It's like grudge energy, it's like resentment energy, it's martyr energy, it's I'm going to blame you for where I'm at energy. It's all that kind of stuff, right? So do be aware of this. This is what's brewing. And the best way that this can be sort of curtailed is just if you suspect, this is how I've been handling it. If you suspect that somebody is coming in, and I almost want to say expect, so you should expect that you will be dealing with this on some level, on some degree. And I would love it, if you get a chance to drop a comment and let me know if you've been having this experience, because I have. I've been experiencing it a lot. Um, if you can, like, if you pick up the scent of that energy signature on another person, but that person is really reaching out to you after not reaching out to you for 4 months, 5 months, and that they're connected to that person that you firmly cut off and put a block in with, and you can smell that energy signature on them, then just keep it surface, man. You don't need to stir up conflict. You don't need to, make anything dramatic, come forward. Just keep the conversation really bland, really boring. Oh, it's just business as usual. I've just been working hard. I've just been doing my thing. Nothing special going on here. Okay? It's just, it's the best way. It's the best way. Okay? Because this is what they're trying to turn upside down. There's some wish fulfillment that's coming in for you. All right. There is some gift that's coming in from spirit, but they're trying to swipe this. They're trying to block this from coming into being because this was in reverse. Right. So right now we got keys that have gone missing. We got doors of opportunities that are being hidden. We got a wish that hasn't come into being yet, but people can smell it. They can feel it. They know something's coming in. They know doors are about to open for you. They know you are about to get keys that, gain you entry into rooms, maybe certain rooms or certain opportunities that they wanted to have access to. But they didn't earn their way into those rooms. They didn't do the work to gain those opportunities, okay? So this is something to be aware of. This is coming in as a distraction to raise drama or cause problems or create fires for you to put out, so that you get distracted from the work at hand, what you're focused on, what you're creating, and then soon your energy is dissipated and you're not able to have those new beginnings you want to have. Yeah, but those secrets are being exposed. And if you pay attention, all you have to do is pay attention and you'll see them exposed. All you have to do is, make your boundary lines really clear. And you'll see the exposure. You will see the exposure. And there will be people that push back on boundaries. And you need to re-clarify your boundaries. And I don't feel like we'll really hit the height of it until we get to that initiatory gateway that will be that Pisces full moon that comes in and links back to April 8th when we had the total solar eclipse in Aries, right? It's directly related to your ability to have that rebirth in your life and to transform the darkness into the light building phase where you do get moving forward quite rapidly toward that north node, spinning your fate into destiny. But the key to this really is about not getting caught up in the old cycle, not letting these people manipulate you, get their hooks back into you, pull you back down into that south node action. Uh, Stay free. This part is really important. Okay. Any other details here? I mean, I don't like how much of this energy is in reverse right now. Okay. So I know they're ramping up efforts. Do look for efforts to ramp up with this full moon in Aquarius. Something just flew on the floor here, face down, that doesn't want to be seen. Okay. Yeah, look at this. Happiness. Happiness. That's what they're trying to swipe away here. All right. Telling you, you got some happiness haters out there. You really do. There's people who don't want to see these things come in for you because they feel like they don't have that. So why should you? But these are people who don't want to take accountability and they don't want to do the work. They want to hitch a free ride. They want to hitch a ride on your energy. Yeah, look, they want you to pull them along as you open your road. I mean, here you are, you've had to face your fears. You did what you had to do to, get to the other side. You've made the long journey from your head to your heart. You've been clearing out your grief. You've been doing your healing work. And you got these people, who still haven't been learning their lessons, they're still in school. They need to learn their lessons. It doesn't help them at all to, drag them along with us and bear the burden and the weight of that. We're meant to travel light, not drag a bunch of stuff behind us. Okay. So it's not our job to school people. It's not our job to save people. It's not our job to teach people lessons either. This is about that 9 energy. It's the spiritual understanding that it's time for me to walk my path, trust where I'm being led, even if I have to walk alone. Because I'm telling you, look at all this. Like there's keys that want to come in for you. There's doors of opportunity that want to come in for you. There's a wish activation that wants to come in for you. And its results will be far reaching. It's like a seed that's planted and it grows so much from it. Okay. It has far reaching effect. It's happiness that breaks up the boredom, that breaks up the monotony. It's a gift. It's a gift from spirit for you. It's a new lucky cycle, but there's forces that are actively thwarting this. Okay. And there is somebody here that is on the attack. Right. And I got this energy a lot that the feminine is really on the attack right now. There's a lot of catty energy out there, okay? So be aware of this too, where, somebody uh, caught wind of your vision, and they want to intercept it. And there's a lot of strange, energies coming in here too, right? That goes on more of a broader level as well. I feel like this is energy that's really coming in here with the Aquarius full moon. People are very much worried about the mounting conflict that's going on in the world. They are worried about the threat of attack. Do look for the fear mongering to pick up. Do look for the propaganda to pick up. It is a way to be sort of like off with our heads where we lose our ability to sort of like think for ourselves. We need to be very aware right now of what we're feeding our heads. We need to stay very conscious of anything that is trying to put these visions of growth, expansion, building the light, bringing in the creativity, healing, community, all of this. These are ideals that are under attack right now. And they're under attack through manipulation, through, fear propaganda. And yeah, sure, that comes through in media. It comes through on the global stage, but it also comes through, within our own communities and within the conversations we have with people, and with people who want to undermine you. So maybe people that know you really well. They want to highlight something that they know that maybe you've struggled with, or you have vulnerability around, or you're insecure about, right? It's a way they feel that they can kind of like pull you down to their level, and then step on you to get ahead. Okay, so do be on the lookout for this kind of energy. There are people here who want to stir things up and create conflict just for the sake of creating a distraction, creating chaos and instability in your life. Why? Because they see you leveling up. Okay, they do. They see that you're on the rise. They see that you got a certain sense of vision here. You got a broader perspective. You've gained some distance from the problems and what was holding you down in the past. You're feeling good about yourself. You've straightened your crown. And they know that you're moving into this Empress energy. They know that you are moving into that Emperor energy, for, the men that will come down the road, to tune in for this read. And this is really about not only exercising the acuity of the hawk to, pan out, have a real view of situations. This is also pay attention to the signs that Spirit's giving you. Pay attention to the synchronicities. Pay attention to the signposts, where they're leading you. But also exercise your Talon magic, okay? Which is having really good boundaries. So I would say if you're going to do any work with this full moon, I would say do something that is about creating solid boundaries, reinforce your boundaries, whatever that looks like for you. And I always feel when we're doing alchemy work, it's like, yes, certainly you can do a symbolic ritual to represent reinforcing your boundaries. You can certainly be more focused on putting up your energetic shielding. You can be more focused on creating sacred space. Absolutely. But this is also about taking practical measures too. I mean, a lot of times I think when people are on a path of alchemy, they rely too heavily on doing, the alchemy work, and they negate the part about rooting it in material reality by following it up with practical action. Say no thank you. Say I'm not open to that. Say I'm no longer interested in pursuing this. Make sure you draw your lines and you stand in your power. This is important. And the reason why you need to do this is because there's going to be people who are coming around who want to set you up as a sitting pigeon, and they're going to be love bombing, and they're going to be gift bearers, and they're going to be presenting you with things that feels like, oh, this is a really good opportunity, but it could leave you like a sitting pigeon. And you got to be aware of the temptations that are around right now with these snakes in the grass. And you're not aware of all of them. You might be aware of some of them, but some of them are hidden. Do you see? There's some that are in the shadows here, okay? And this is a rooted problem, all right? It goes deep. It goes deep. I just heard it goes all the way back to the Garden of Eden. Well, yeah, it pretty much does, I have to say. Ever since that story was spun. Let's do a cut of the deck here. What do we got? See? But I think you'll do well, all right? If you just stay really focused. When we hit October, all right, and we got that hunter's moon activated in the sign of Libra. There's also a solar eclipse that happens that's also going down in Libra. Okay, October is a big month. So this is when we really see what was holding us down in the South Node and what we need to do to move forward. If you play your cards right, if you face things squarely on, if you call things out, if you don't play the games, if you don't buy the BS, if you take charge of your own mind, your own actions, and you stay focused on where you're going, this is when you take your head out of the sand and you start to actually move forward with a lot of power and a lot of purpose and quite fearless, I have to say, because you'll know exactly where you're going, and you'll know where you're going is leading you to that place where you belong. And for some of you, it may even involve a move, and it may involve a big level up. Home might become like a big level up for you. Some of you will move into situations that you never thought would be possible for you. Okay, so there's a lot of growth and expansion here. There could be an important trip involved in this. You're definitely going to get your coordinates. The compass rose is going to be on lock, and this is moving on up, and it's good. This road will open in October. There is moving forward. Okay, this is a really pivotal time right now. What's on the other side here? But before that, you're going to have to break up this intrigue of some people who only want you to go down with their ship, all right? There is like a faction of people, there's a group of people that you've been dealing with. These people have been causing you problems. And some of these people are, they're kind of lost at sea here. They're in need of a rescue. And these people had no problem, sinking your battleship, okay? And now they want you to help them out. But you gotta see that here you are in your sailboat there, you're in calmer water. If you disrupt your foundation by going back to rescue people that already rocked it, and you just got to the place where you're starting to strengthen it and lay it down, when a ship goes down, it has the force, to pull anything in its vicinity down with it. And you'll go right down with them, okay? So this is kind of the memo that's coming in here. It's an important message. I think before I drop out on this one, I do want to get a goddess guidance card. All right, let's check it out. Let's get an overarching theme in the form of a goddess energy that we're being asked to work with, okay? What goddess wants to work with us and align with us with this full moon coming in Aquarius? So we can really get our energy harmonized in the right way that will give us the smoothest passage forward through challenging terrain and get us on the other side of it, free and clear of any influences that would sabotage or weigh us down or hold us back or keep us from moving into that forward progression. Yeah, see, look at this. We got Irene, peace, bottom of the deck energy. And this right here, I mean, this ultimately is where it's at. This is the highest commodity right now, your peace, the peace that you've gained in your life. So peace needs to be preserved. I feel like peace is foundational because when we're peaceful within ourselves, then naturally we're going to be more effective in what we're calling in, what we're creating here, okay? And it says, there is no need to worry as everything is working out beautifully. So I like this. And I do feel this, like we're on a really good track. The only thing that can hold us back is, I don't know why I'm getting all biblical with it, but I'm not normally a biblical person, you know what I'm saying? But there's all this like biblical reference that's been coming in recently. And it reminds me of Lot, and his wife. And all she had to do was just keep her eyes straight ahead. All she had to do was keep moving forward. She just had to turn back and she just had to look around at, the landscape of what she was leaving behind once more. And she turned into a pillar of salt. You know what I'm saying? It's not worth it to look back in certain cases. There is something here about keep it moving forward. It's really important right now. All right, what goddess is coming in to work with us? What goddess are you being asked to align with? So whatever goddess comes out here, what I suggest is, I think this is most important when it comes to alchemy, is that even though we, may all tap into the same archetypal energy, what's important is that you relate to it in your own way and that you pull in aspects of that goddess energy that speak to you, that harmonize with you. And how I relate to a particular goddess may be very different than how you relate to a goddess. It doesn't make your way wrong. It makes it your way. This piece is very important, and this is what I always bring in when it comes to matters of alchemy. So I would say do your research. And I won't even say where you should go to do that research because you will be guided to the right sources of research for you. Whether you choose to do that by going to the library and looking at books, or whether you ask for that goddess's energy to send you signs, and you go on a walk and you come across certain natural signs in your natural environment that inform you about that energy, or if you decide to Google, and do a little modern day wizardry, and you find out about different metaphysical associations and things of this nature. It may just be something you completely intuit. It's just an inner knowing. Whatever comes through for you, trust it, okay? Now, whatever goddess comes out here, I am going to go ahead and I'll read the full description in the book. And we'll just kind of dive into it there. Yeah, I couldn't help but notice Sarasvati there. The arts on the bottom of the deck. So, we still have that creative energy that's coming through very strongly. And that doesn't surprise me, especially as we head closer to the Aquarian age, because that's what launches any golden age. It's always about bringing the creative energy forward, the innovative energy forward. It's a huge part of moving into the expansion. It's a powerful medium of expression as well that can counterbalance the fear of propaganda. It's something that can uplift energy instead of dragging it down. It can move the heart into a more exalted frequency as opposed to being dragged down and mired and, tainted by fear, which is what we tend to encounter more often these days than uplifting sources of nourishment for our hearts and our souls. Let's see here. Which goddess wants to come? Oh, wow. Okay. She really wants to come through. Irene, right? This is our goddess, Irene, peace. I think she's a Greek goddess. I'm pretty sure. So let's read about her because I don't know a lot about her, but I do believe that she is a Greek goddess. There's some dolphins here with her. Okay. And dolphin energy is all about the prana. So I do feel like breath work is very helpful. I especially feel like almost like rebirthing work. Like it's giving me this sense of, any work you can do with the water, like getting in, like you're about to take a bath, right? Getting into a nice warm bath, and you got all your medicinal plants in there, and you got your mineral salts and all that good stuff in there. And then you can like drop in and sink in, and it kind of it mimics, it recreates. It's almost like creating a little bit of a ritual space that mimics that safety of the amniotic fluid of being held in the womb. Like you're gestating there, you're gestating, you're in that place of waiting to be reborn. You can even do like a little somatic movement in that water. And if you merge that with your breath, do some breathing exercises to unwind, release the tension, I think this can be very helpful. And yes, peace for a balanced nervous system is absolutely foundational, especially when combating like stressful times, right? I mean, nervous system is foundational. So let's see what Irene has to say because I honestly, I don't know a lot about her, but I do think she's a Greek goddess. Irene, peace. There is no need to worry as everything is working out beautifully. Message from Irene. Even though appearances may seem chaotic, I assure you that a higher plan is in action. This all loving power is carrying and supporting you completely. Relax into the arms of divine love and breathe away all cares, concerns, and worries. Put your focus into enjoying and appreciating each blessing. Your gratitude helps you attract even more blessings into your life. Give your cares and worries to heaven. Pray, meditate, engage in peace enhancing activities such as yoga, sea salt baths, massage, naps, music, playfulness, and the like. Irene, a Greek goddess whose sisters include the goddesses of lawfulness and justice, interesting, with all that South Node action that came in. Irene brings peacefulness to all who call upon her. The Romans referred to her as Pax, which means peace. Irene helps us replace worry with faith. She also reminds us to retain our childlike awe and enthusiasm for life. Okay, I like this. Okay, so attune to Irene's energy and in whatever way sees fit for you. Maybe do a little research on her, maybe learn what she likes for offerings. It might be nice to make some kind of peace offering to Irene with the full moon. I like that. And not just peace for ourselves and our own lives and our own visions, but also peace for the collective as a whole, just to raise that frequency in the world. I think that feels really, really good. Okay, I think that I am going to head off of here. Take care. Enjoy. Bye.